All right, so now we're going to solve some rational exponent equations. I'll read this to you at the top of the screen. When an equation contains a power with a rational exponent, you can solve the equation using a procedure similar to the one for solving radical equations. In this case, you first isolate the power and then raise each side of the equation to the reciprocal of the rational exponent. So here's a nice simple example here they give us, and we'll try a few others. So, funny. So it's 4x to the 2/3. Now, when you're looking at that, please understand that 2/3 isn't going to the 4. It's the 2/3 power of x. So that rational exponent is not isolated yet. And that equals 36. So to isolate it, we have to get rid of the 4. So we divide both sides by 4. And then we've got not much room here to work. I have x to the 2/3 equals 9. Now, what that told you to do is they said raise the power each side of the equation by the reciprocal. Well, it's 2/3. If I do a 3/2 times 3, times 3/2 on this side and 3/2 on this side, well, on the left, hopefully it's obvious to you now that we're basically canceling out the rational exponent or the radical, and all that's left is x. Wonderful. On the right, I still have 9 and to 3/2 power. Now, thankfully, we got a bunch of these in before we had our untimely departure from school. Remember, you always take the root first. Take care of that one first, and then do the power second. And it makes it much easier to do these problems. So, in that case, if that's what we're going to do here, we take the square root. Again, that's the square root of 9 to the 3rd power. And I'll write as a radical for it. If that helps you see this better, this can be written as x equals the square root of 9. Oh, that's a nice number, to the 3rd power. Well, that's this x to the is 3. Square root of 9 is 3 to the 3rd power, which is just plain old 27. So these aren't too bad. I'll do one more with you, at least, and then give you an assignment with this as well. Again, I have to isolate it. Well, this is isolated right there. I need to move that 1, and that's all I got to do. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. Add 1, and now I have x plus 2. 3/4 equals 8. Well, now it's isolated, right? Because that 3rd, 4th power is over the entire x plus 2. Nothing else I can get rid of. So now I'm going to not multiply, but raise to the reciprocal power. 4/3 over here. 4/3. Hopefully you all see that. Reciprocal. Because now, gone, right? Left side, I'm just down to x plus 2. That's fabulous stuff right there. X plus 2. On the right, I have 8 yet to the 4/3. I want you to see that, how that kind of cleaned up nicely on the left-hand side. And usually the convenient thing when they make these problems for you is they usually give you a perfect root. In other words, this base here, this base of 8, is usually a perfect root of whatever's over here. So the math's not going to be terrible. So, again, I'm going to leave the plus 2 where it is. And I just want to be able to show you how this looks on the right, in case you're struggling with how to simplify that. So x plus 2 still on the left. This is going to be the cube root of 8. And man, you have seen that enough times, haven't you? You should be able to do that. And that's the 4th power. Well, what number times itself 3 times is 8? Hopefully you know 2. So now I have this. I have x plus 2 yet equals 2 to the 4th. All right, come on, you can do that. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. So x plus 2 equals 16. Subtract 2, you can see it. X equals 14. Okay. So, again, isolate, and take the reciprocal, and go nuts. All right, a few more I think should help you. I want to make sure you got this before you try some on your own. We'll try a couple of these here. Let's see. I'm just looking at some here that might be of some value. All right, let's try number 6, I guess. So, is it isolated? No, because this rational exponent is only going to this x. The 2 is not part of it. So I've got to get rid of the negative 2. So divide by negative 2 on both sides. X 3/4 equals, it's double negative, is 8. All right, so now I'm isolated. Now reciprocal. Put it in parentheses, 4/3. Cancel that, right? 4/3. I'll let that go for a moment. So left-hand side is just x. The right-hand side, I'm going to write it again as a radical for you if that helps you see things better. Cube root of 8 to the 4th. Again, this is one we've seen quite a bit over the, back when we were still together. That's going to be x equals 2 to the 4th, or 16. There's your final answer for that one. Let me try one more of these here with the fractions. Let's try something that looks a little different. Let's try number 9. Looking at that, the x minus 5 is to the 4/3, so that's all isolated. I'm done with that. So all I need to do is take the reciprocal right away. It's already isolated. So it's going to be x minus 5, to the 4/3. And now it's going to be to the 3/4 to both sides. 3/4. Again, that's canceled out. All I got is x minus 5. 81 to 3/4. Well, this is the 4th root, correct, of 81 to the 3rd power. Well, again, we know, again, had we been there together over these last few weeks, you'd know the 4th root of 81. You'd have done enough practice that you'd just get it, but it's 3. So we got x minus 5 equals 3 to the 3rd, which is 27. And by now, hopefully, you can cruise through this. You add your 5. X is 32. Okay? So again, there'll be an assignment for that. Give those a shot and send those in.